And I believe that we should have all citizens on there and not people that are involved in the government. When we were more active 2 years ago, we had one incident where I think 6 of the 9 people had to recuse themselves from a ruling, and I think he was perfectly ethical in doing this and perfectly right. But the appointee from the sheriff's office, on every single thing that we were involved with, he had to recuse himself because he knew somebody or had a personal relationship with someone, just because you work here in the county courthouse. The only problem I have with changing the rules after the fact, it's sort of an ex post facto deal, is that we had a legal meeting that was done exactly according to the rules, and the appointments were made by the appropriate body according to the charter of the ethics committee. And then after this was done, and believe me, I don't like the way this is any more than anyone else, but there is a sense of fairness that after it's finished, now because we don't like the results of the process, we're saying we're going to say they're void, and we're going to change it so somebody else is elected there. And I just have a question of whether that's ethical after the fact to change the result of a process that was completely legal. And I absolutely believe that we need to review this, but I'm just not sure we should overturn the results of a legal process and say, we need to do something else because we don't like the results.
But it was legal to the point of up to us ratifying. If it's not ratified by this body, it doesn't matter what you put in it.
Yeah. Well, I'll let wiser minds than me look at that, but the process was exactly as it was supposed to be. It was an open process. The Ethics Committee is under the Open Meetings Act like everything else. The people on there have been counseled on that. There really, there wasn't any deal before. I wasn't there, but I think what the feeling was that the people that have served on the committee, were qualified. One of them, I believe, is her citizen's job is as an ethicist. And I think that's what it was. You don't fire someone really unless you think they've done a bad job. But just to change the rules afterwards and say we're going to redo it. I think we really do need to sit down and look at the ethics committee and the composition. I think it needs to be all citizens. I think that we need to have a different mechanism. But I just don't know if it's right to do it after the fact.
Ms. Broyles.
Thank you. I don't have a problem with doing it after the fact for 2 reasons. One is that it's our job to ratify this or not. If what we thought wasn't important, we wouldn't have to do that step. That we can choose to ratify it or we can choose not to ratify it, just the way that the states can choose to ratify or not when there's going to be a change or amendment to the Constitution. Also, whether or not it was done legally reminds me a great deal of what we heard after Black Wednesday. All of those appointments were done completely legally, and yet but the process that took place during the meeting was done, and the courts said that it was not done properly. So I don't have a problem with us coming behind and saying this doesn't meet our standards. That's what our role is as the commission. Otherwise, it wouldn't be coming before us in the first place.